presenting the adventures of Jungle Jim. Last week, Jungle Jim was confronted by a strange young woman who held him and Patrick O'Shaughnessy Flynn at the point of a gun while she ordered Jacques Labat out of the cafe and back to her plantation. Although she gave no name nor any identification, Jim was given to understand that she was the boss of the hulking French-Canadian, and that if Jim harmed any of her men or crossed her path again, she would kill him. In the meantime, the Reverend Chalmers and the native guide reached the part of the jungle in which the mysterious ceremonies were being held. And within the sound of the terrifying tom-toms, Loki, the native, suddenly disappeared, apparently deserting the missionary. Back at the hotel, as Jim told Lynn Chalmers he would take her to her father, Kolu came running with the news that a white man who was dying was asking for him. The thrilling adventures of Jungle Jim are pictured each Sunday in the Comic Weekly, the world's greatest pictorial supplement of humor and adventure. For Comic Weekly, each page printed in full colors is distributed everywhere as an integral part of your Hearst Sunday newspaper. Now we continue the story. Striding impatiently up and down the palm-shaded veranda of a plantation house is the strange young woman who threatened Jungle Jim in the cafe. Suddenly, she stops her pacing and crashes a huge Chinese gong hanging by the door of the house.
Boy! Where are you? Come here.
Yes, Missy. Come plenty hurry.
You'd better come plenty hurry. I'll tip the hide off you.
Yes, Missy. What can you do for Missy?
Where's Labat?
No see, Missy.
He hasn't come back yet?
No see, Missy.
I wonder what he's up to now.
Missy, look, see. He's come now.
So he is. All right, boy, get out of here. I don't need you now.
Yes, Missy.
Labat!
Where, boss? What you want, eh?
Come here, you thick-headed fool. Where have you been?
Oh, my God, I think maybe you're angry with Jacques Labat, huh?
I told you to come straight back to the plantation, didn't I?
Mais oui. That's what you say. That's what I do.
I've been waiting almost half an hour for you. What kept you?
Boss, Jacques Labat, she come quick, she can.
I don't believe you. What trouble have you started now?
I no start anything, boss. I finish some business in the town, and I come straight to the plantation like you say.
I told you what you'd get if I didn't find you here when I got back.
No, boss, don't whip Jacques Labat. She don't do nothing to get whipped.
Just disobeyed my orders, that's all. I'll keep you to disobey.
Missy, Loki got news.
Well, I'll punish you later, Laba. Go to your quarters.
All right, boss, I go.
What is it, Loki?
Missy, Loki do like you say.
Good. You brought the missionary into the bush.
Yes, he.
How'd you do it?
Mission 2 on leave for Burawani. Loki go after. When get to Burawani, Loki hear Mission 2 on ask for guide. Him say want to see Mumbo Jumbo.
Splendid. And so you said you'd guide him.
Yes, he, Missy. Loki tell Mission 2 on. Loki know.
And he fell for it.
Yes,
Loki, you're a good boy. Number one boy. Go on. What'd you do then?
Loki and Mission 2 on get in engine boat. Guide Mission 2 on long way. Loki say no can go more. We walk.
And he believed you?
Yes, he, Missy. Mission 2 on tie up boat. Walk in bush.
And the tom-toms, Loki. Could you hear them?
Yes, he, Missy. Mission 2 on hear drums. Mission 2 on think we near Mumbo Jumbo.
Then you left him, as I told you.
Yes, he, Missy. Loki run away into bush. Mission 2 on call. Loki no answer.
Well, I guess we've got the Reverend Manly Chalmers right where we want him.
Mission 2 on not there now.
What? Not there? What happened? Is he dead?
Oh, no, Missy. Mission 2 on not dead. He gone back, Burawani.
Back to... Loki, how did he escape?
Loki ran away Mission 2 on. No can come back. Loki watch Mission 2 on walk back to engine boat. Start back Burawani.
I see. You're right, Loki. You couldn't let him see you after you deserted him. He'd never trust you again.
No, Missy.
So he's started back to Burawani, has he? We'll see about that.
Jungle Jim and Kolu are hurrying to the scene of the mysterious shooting.
Young fella, him shot bad, Tuan Jim.
Young fellow?
Yes, he, Tuan Jim. Him got black eye. Lip all cut bad. Here.
Why, that sounds like the same kid Jacques Labat beat up. Who shot him, Kolu?
Kolu, no fella see. Native boy find white young fella,
He us or you? If it's the same kid, I saved him from that brute Labat, or at least I thought I did. The French-Canadian threatened to kill him.
Swan Jim.
What?
Look, see.
What?
Mission Swan. From engine boat.
The Reverend Chalmers. I don't know what's brought him back so soon, but it looks like he'll be needed over there.
Glory be. Oh, what's going to happen next around here, Jim?
Almost anything, I should say, Pat.
Yeah, I tell you, man ain't safe anywhere nowadays. And that's the truth.
Yeah, not to mention the kid. And that one was... Well, what are you bringing that big bottle for, Pat?
For two reasons. First, a drop of this good whiskey might revive the young lad. And second, if any trouble starts, it'll come in handy to use for a shillelagh.
I've heard that expression before, but what does it mean, Pat?
It means a club or a cudgel, and it comes from the name of a town in Ireland, Shillelagh, famous for its oak.
Mission Swan stop boat at dock. He get out.
So he does. Come on, Pat. Kolu, let's hurry.
I'll bet my shirt that girl with the 45 or her gorilla of a French-Canadian did this, Jim.
I shouldn't be surprised, Pat. I didn't like the looks of that pair.
Labar's the ugliest specimen of a human I ever saw. And the girl is the beautifulest creature living. I tell you, Jim, with a little taming, she'd make a man a fine mate.
Stand back, everybody, please.
Reverend, it seems as though you returned in time.
Oh, hello, Jim.
Glad to see you, Reverend. This is a bit of medicine I have here.
That's very kind of you, Flynn, but I don't think it'll be needed.
How is he, Reverend? Won't he?
Too late, son. This boy is dead.
The Lord have mercy on him.
Dead. And we didn't get a chance to find out who he was.
I bet you one big fella Labat he do this, Swan Jim.
Well, that's something we can't prove, I'm afraid. If the kid had lived until we got to him, we might have been able to have found out who did the shooting.
Does anyone know this lad?
No, Reverend. We never saw him until today.
Is there anybody to take charge of the body?
There is that. I'll see to it, Reverend. Just leave everything to Patrick O'Shaughnessy Flynn.
Very well, Flynn. Let me know when everything is prepared, and I'll read the service.
I will that, Reverend. Come on now, boys. Lend a hand here.
Kolu, help two on Flynn.
Yes, it's one, Jim.
Reverend, you come with me. I've got a surprise for you.
Meanwhile, back at the plantation, a big black seaplane circles for a landing. And comes to rest like a huge black fly on the surface of the stagnant water.
Hey, folks, how you make out?
I didn't make out. Chalmers managed to get away.
What? One man in motorboat get away from you in airplane?
He had too much of a start on me by the time Loki got here with his report. When I flew over to Burawani, I saw him heading down the river back to his village.
You saw him? By God, Jacques Lapin, let no one get away.
No, I suppose you wouldn't.
No, by God, I fix him like... anyway, I fix...
Like you almost fixed that kid. And you saw what you let yourself in for down there. You had everybody up in arms defending him. That black and blue face of yours ought to remind you of that.
That jungle Jim, I fix him for that.
You fixed those automatic hammers at the end of your arms, Labat. I told you before, we have other ways of settling our score.
I know, but Jacques Labat, she got her own way. Nobody get away from Jacques Labat.
The kid got away, didn't he?
Why you no land airplane and fix that missionary fella?
Because if anything happened to him after he left Burawani, the authorities would start a big investigation. We don't want anybody asking us any questions. You know that.
I know.
So our missionary is safe as long as he doesn't come this side of Burawani.
By God, you one smart fellow, boss. Things happen in jungle. Nobody to blame, eh?
Congratulations, Labat. You're beginning to show signs of having a brain in that flat skull of yours.
What we do now, boss?
Get everything ready for the ceremony. Understand?
Sure, boss. I fix.
Where's Loki?
Someplace. That fellow, she like one eel.
I'll find him. Give me that hammer. Loki! I've got some work for him to do.
Yes, Missy.
Come here, Loki. The missionary got away from us.
Yes, Missy.
But he'll be back. Now, I want you to go down to Burawani and watch for him.
Yes, Missy.
See that he gets one of our boys to guide him when he comes back.
Yes, Missy. Loki do.
And tell your brothers to sound the call. Mumbo Jumbo at that same place tonight.
Back at the hotel, Jungle Jim has brought the missionary and his daughter together.
Well, I hardly expected to see you so soon, Lynn, my dear. I'm glad to see you.
Jim was going to take me to you if you hadn't returned, Father. I don't know whether I'm glad or sorry you came back.
Well, you'd better be glad, young lady. The jungle is no place for a girl like you.
Jim is right, Lynn. It's a good thing I got back before you started. You might never have found me.
Oh, I never thought of that. What a terrible experience you must have had.
I told you Colo and I had better go alone with you, Reverend.
Yes, you did, Jim. But I gave you reasons for my going alone, and they still stand.
I don't know what your reasons are, Father, but you're not going alone the next time.
That's right, Lynn. I'm going with him whether he gives me permission or not.
And so am I.
I like your spirit, daughter, but I must exercise parental authority and say no.
You said I wasn't to follow you out here when I finished school. But here I am.
Yes, I know, but that was your mother's doing. She wanted you with her, and that's where you're going, to join her in Singapore by the next steamer.
Is that so? Well, you just wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
When you start off into the jungle country, I'm going with you.
Oh, no.
Two heads are better than one, you know. Why, it's a miracle you got back to your motorboat after that villain of a native deserted you.
God is always watching over his servants, my dear.
I know, Father. But you're not going to get out of my sight again.
Come in.
Is the Reverend here?
Yes, here I am, Sin.
Begging your pardon for interruption, but we're ready for the service now.
I'll be there directly.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Just hand me my prayer book, Lynn, please.
Here it is, Father.
Thank you.
But before you leave, I want you to promise that I can go with you wherever you
You
go.
heard what I said, daughter. You're joining your mother in Singapore. Come on, Jim. They're waiting for us.
I'm with you, sir. Your father's right, Lynn. Better do what he says.
Where he goes, I go.
Come along, Jim.
Yes, sir.
Jim, I have no idea who killed this poor lad, but I do know that white men are dying like flies out there in the bush. And I know there's some new religion sprung up among the natives, a savage, brutal cult. I've heard they're throbbing tom-toms. As a man on the toss, Jim, I must investigate.
But you also know, sir, the natives in the northern jungle are cannibals. You may be killed.
Oh, yes, I know. It's not myself I'm worrying about. It's Lynn. You heard her insist on following me wherever I go.
Well, she's foolish if she follows you this time.
She isn't going to follow me.
Why not, sir?
I know how to make sure of that.
What will happen when Jungle Jim and the Reverend Chalmers brave the unknown dangers of the backcountry to investigate the mysteries of this new jungle religion? Be sure and be with us next week for a continuation of these exciting adventures way down at the southernmost tip of Asia. And don't miss the full-color action pictures portraying the scenes you have just heard dramatized. These pictures appear in the Comic Weekly, distributed next Sunday with your Hearst newspaper. And by the way, have you become a member of the Poster Stamp Collectors Club? If not, start next Sunday by getting the Comic Weekly with your Hearst newspaper, cutting out the poster stamps and pasting them in the official album, which is available at all stores. And now, goodbye until next week, when we will be back with the continuation of the adventures of Jungle Jim. Presenting the adventures of Jungle Jim. Last week we learned that Loki, acting on the instructions of the strange white woman, had deserted the Reverend Chalmers in the jungle. But the missionary managed to get back home despite the efforts of the woman who flew after him in her powerful seaplane. Jungle Jim, Kolo, and Patrick O'Shaughnessy Flynn arrived at the side of the young white man who had been mysteriously shot just as the Reverend Chalmers landed in his motorboat. They found the boy dead, and no one could tell them who shot him nor who he was. Jim then reunited Lynn Chalmers and her father, and Lynn insisted that they must never be separated again. Where he went, she would go. But her father refused to let her run the risk of a jungle expedition, and later told Jim he had a plan to make sure that Lynn would not follow him. The thrilling adventures of Jungle Jim are pictured each Sunday in the Comic Weekly, the world's greatest pictorial supplement of humor and adventure. The Comic Weekly, each page printed in full colors, is distributed everywhere as an integral part of your Hearst Sunday newspaper. Now we continue the story. While the Reverend Chalmers is burying the unidentified white lad in a nameless grave, let's go up country into the bush. The jungle is filled with the electrifying pulsations of tom-toms, telegraphing the news far and wide that the mystic cult is about to hold another of its savage ceremonies. At the plantation house, the white woman boss is making arrangements for a trip.
Hurry up, Labar.
There we go. Yeah, boss, she hurry fast as she can.
Did you put the drums in the plane?
We, boss. The three of them. Big one, the so big one, and the little one.
And the rattles?
We, boss. Labar forget nothing.
You'd better not. Tonight is the baptism of the drums. Nothing must go wrong.
Nothing go wrong, boss.
Did Loki get away this afternoon?
That Loki, she's gone, all right.
Loki's a good boy. He's only a native, but he's got brains under that flat straw hat.
I got brains, boss. Plenty smart, these fellow Labar. Nobody get away from him. Missionaire, she get away from Loki.
Loki was smart to keep out of sight.
What good Loki do at Burawani? That missionaire know him now?
Trust Loki to see that the Reverend gets one of our boys to guide him.
We hope so, boss.
We can be sure. I can fly down to Burawani to check up on Loki if it's necessary. I'm not taking any chances on anybody. Understand, Labar?
You mean me too, boss?
Yes, I mean you most of all.
Labar loyal to you all the time, boss. Honest.
You'd better be. Well, get in the plane.
All right. Boss, I get in.
All set?
Mary.
We're off.
Later that evening, back at the hotel, Jungle Jim has a chat with the Reverend Chalmers and his daughter, Lynn.
Kolo tells me magic is being made in the jungle tonight, Reverend.
I'm not surprised to hear that.
How can Kolu possibly know about it, Jim?
Word travels like lightning through this country, Lynn. Native drummers beat out the rhythmic messages from village to village. The drums have sounded the call for a ceremony tonight.
Jungle magic. What an intriguing phrase that is. I should love to see the exhibition.
That's just where you're wrong, Lynn, my dear. To us, magic means just an optical illusion. But jungle magic is no sleight of hand.
Well, what is it then?
Jungle magic deals with medicines, charms, and cures, Lynn.
There's more in it than that, Jim. It deals with ideas which are sometimes more dangerous.
That's quite true, sir. But jungle magic can cure as well as kill.
Granted, my boy. When it cures, it's white magic.
And when it kills, Father?
It's black magic, my dear. That's the sort of thing I want to stamp out.
You think that's the kind of ceremony they're holding up in the bush tonight, Reverend?
Yes, Jim. I firmly believe this new religion is some form of voodoo.
Just what does voodoo mean, Father?
Well, my dear, a man named Dorsanvis has long made a study of the subject, and he says that voodoo is the most inclusive word of the Fongbi dialect in Africa. It designates the genii, good or bad, and it can also be used to designate the statue of any one of these genii, or even objects which symbolize their cult, and also their protective and evil power. For example, in Haiti and Cuba, the snake is symbolic. A replica of a snake is prominent on every altar.
But how does the voodoo religion get over here?
Well, the same way it spread from Africa to other lands, dear, by being imported.
Do you think some African Negro has settled in the northern jungle, sir, and started voodoo on his own?
Well, Jim, I've no theories as to who may have started it. But there is no doubt that someone who at least is acquainted with the principles of voodoo has started the cult here.
Then you're in for a tough fight, Reverend.
What do you mean, Jim?
Any religion so mysterious as to hold ceremonies in the heart of the jungle in the dead of night and based on native superstitions, will have a powerful attraction in these parts.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Lynn, what are you saying?
I said good because this new religion will last long enough for me to see one of its ceremonies.
You had your father worried for a minute, Lynn. He thought you were in sympathy with voodoo.
Yes. I must admit I began to wonder if this was my daughter speaking. You may as well put such thoughts out of your head, my dear. Voodoo ceremonies are not for your eyes.
Jim, can't you make Father change his mind about letting me go with him?
Nothing doing. You can't bring me into it. I'm neutral.
I'm sure Jim agrees with me whether he's neutral or not.
Unofficially, Reverend, I do. Well, it's getting late. I'd better get down to my temporary camp.
Oh, must you go, Jim? So soon?
I'm sorry, but I really must, Miss Chalmers. Cola will be wondering what has happened to me.
I wish you could stay a little longer. You haven't told us anything about your adventures.
Some other time, Lynn. It's getting late. And you must be tired after your trip. I'll see you to the park, Jim.
Good night, Lynn.
Good night.
That daughter of yours is sure set on going with you, Reverend.
Yes, that's why I didn't urge you to stay, Jim. I wanted to get a moment alone with you. You remember my saying that I had a plan to make sure she shouldn't go with me?
Yes, sir.
Well, rather than risk having Lynn start out with me or even follow me into the jungle, I'm going to leave tonight.
Without her knowing it?
Yes. Now, here's a letter for her. Contains funds and an explanation. I want you to see that Lynn gets it after I've started.
Okay, Reverend. I'll be glad to see that she gets it the first thing in the morning.
Thank you, Jim. I knew I could depend on you. Good night and goodbye.
I'll say good night and good luck, but not goodbye, Reverend. You know what I told you when you started up country before? When I begin to worry, Kolo and I will be hot on your trail.
Meanwhile, deep in the northern bush, to the accompaniment of throbbing tom-toms and chanting natives, a human vampire bat, arms spreading out the wings, a dagger in each hand, the face hidden by a mask, stands before a huge silver dish and officiates at a savage religious ceremony.
In the name of all gods and all the mysteries. Angol is master of the earth. Shambhala, Weda is master of the sky. Father Hu is master of the sea. Senge no senge no ne bade corpo. When does the sun rise? The sun rises in the east, Sakame. When does the sun set? Sunset in the Hame, Sakame. Kamala calls. Kamala calls. Kamala calls.
Late that night, Lynn Chalmers wakens from her sleep. Something causes her to get up and go to her father's room. She taps on the door. Then she softly opens it.
Father?
She goes to the bed.
Father? Oh!
Finding it empty, she rushes out of the room and runs down to the hotel room desk, where she rouses the sleepy clerk.
You, wake up. Do you hear? Wake up.
What?
Have you seen my father? He's not in his room.
Your father?
The Reverend Chalmers. He's not in his room. Do you know where he is?
Oh, the missionary. Yeah, of course. He checked out just as I came on duty.
Checked out. Why, are you sure?
Yeah, he has his bill paid and his keys.
Then it was his motorboat I heard. Where has he gone, do you know?
He said something about going up to the northern jungle, miss.
Oh, then he's gone without me, just as he said he would.
Is there anything I can do for you, miss?
Yes. May I have a pen and some paper, please?
Yeah, miss. Here you are.
Thank you. See that this note is delivered to Jungle Jim at his camp the first thing in the morning.
At that very moment, the big black seaplane is heard over the mysterious plantation house, circling for a landing. And gracefully skids to a stop on the beach.
Say, girl, what I tell you, boss? Nothing go wrong all time we gone.
How would you like the day off, Laba? Go to town. You get drunk if you like.
Boss, you sure you all right? You no got airsick?
I never felt better in my life. And why shouldn't I feel good? My plans are succeeding beyond all expectations. You saw what happened last night.
We, boss. Pretty soon all those black fellow days.
Shut up. The jungles have ears, you fool. When I take you with me, I take you as a bodyguard. Always remember, you keep your mouth shut about what you see.
Oui, boss. Laba lack one big clam.
Well, see that you are. The less anybody knows about us, the better.
All right, boss. You're right. That's what Labac think too. That's why.
What were you going to say?
Well, that's why I swear I fix anybody that know too much.
Yes, you're always swearing you'll fix somebody.
And by God, Jacques Labat, he keep his word.
When?
That kid, I fix him.
You certainly gave him a beating, all right.
Beating? Ha! That was nothing. That kid, he know too much, so I kill him.
You killed him?
Well,
So that's why you were so long coming back to the plantation.
I'm very sorry, boss, but we no can take chance. I have to kill that kid.
You're a fool, Labat. Another dumb slip like this, and I'll hand you over to the natives.
What, boss?
You could at least have waited until Jungle Jim left the town. If we get him on our trail, we'll have something to worry about.
Next morning at Jungle Jim's temporary camp on the fringe of the southern jungle, Jim prepares to deliver the missionary's letter as Kolu gets breakfast ready.
I hope the Reverend Chalmers got away on his dangerous trip without his daughter finding out about it, Kolu.
Yes, it's one, Jim. Kolu hope, too.
Hurry up with that grub. I've got to deliver this letter to Lynn.
Look, Tuan Jim. Native runner. Him wave at us.
So he does. I wonder what he wants.
Tuan Jim,
Yes, boy. I'm Jim. What is it?
I sent bring you this letter, Tuan.
Thanks. Kolu, listen to this. Dear Jim, I know about Dad's plan to go to the cannibal country. When you get this, I'll be close on his trail. I can't bear the thought of him facing danger alone. Thanks a million for your good intentions. Lynn Chalmers. The crazy kid. Kolu, pack our stuff.
We go too?
You bet we go to. Right now.
Will Jungle Jim overtake Lynn Chalmers and her father before they fall into the trap set by the mysterious white woman who swore she would kill anyone who interfered with her plan? Be sure and be with us again next week at the same time for the continuation of the thrilling and mysterious adventures which are pictured each week in the Comic Weekly, distributed everywhere with your Hearst Sunday newspaper. Next Sunday, the Comic Weekly will print another half page of those wonderful poster stamps, drawn especially for you by real artists. Become a member of the new and rapidly growing Poster Stamp Collectors Club by cutting out the colored poster stamps and pasting them into the official album available at all stores. Nothing more is required. And don't forget our date next week at the same time for the continuation of the adventures of Jungle Jim. Presenting the adventures of Jungle Jim. Last week we learned the jungle magic that is being made up in the North Country. The Reverend Chalmers told Jungle Jim and Lynn that he believed someone familiar with African voodoo was starting that cult among the natives. Getting Jim outside the hotel, the missionary told him he was planning on leaving during the night so that he could conduct his investigation without his daughter following him. He gave Jim a letter containing funds and an explanation for Lynn to be given to her the next morning. At that very moment, under the direction of a human vampire bat, weird ceremonies were being held in the heart of the northern jungle. Later that night, Lynn discovered that her father had checked out. Then she sent a note to Jim. The next morning, a native runner brought it to Jim's camp. It said that Lynn knew about her father's departure and that she was on her way to join him. These thrilling adventures of Jungle Jim are pictured each Sunday in the Comic Weekly, the world's greatest pictorial supplement of humor and adventure. The Comic Weekly, each page printed in full colors, is distributed everywhere as an integral part of your Hearst Sunday newspaper. And now we continue the story. Jungle Jim crumples up Lynn Chalmers' note and throws it away.
A crazy kid. Colo, pack our stuff.
We go too?
You bet we go too, right now.
White Missy and Mission Swan gone many hours now, Swan Jim.
Yes, I realize they've got a start on us, Colo, but we know they'll go up to Burrawani. There, the Reverend will get a guide, so we can trace him easily. And a white girl asking for him will be remembered, too. We ought to be able to catch up with them in short order.
Kolu, no trails, no other boy knows, Swan Jim. Kolu, help, cut.
I'm sure you will, Colo. That's one reason why I said we're going after them. Come on, let's get this stuff packed up.
Yes, it's one. Kolu, help.
Colo.
Yes, it's one.
What do you know about this magic business?
What do you mean, Swan Jim?
I mean, what do you know about the magic that's being made up in the bush last night?
Big fella send call Mumbo Jumbo last night. Drums call.
Who is big fellow you speak of, Colo?
Big fella vampire bat.
Vampire bat?
Yes, it's one. Big black bat. Have voice like you. Like me.
You mean it has a human voice?
Yes, it's Swan Jim. Give orders. Make Mumbo Jumbo. Big Mumbo Jumbo.
Have you seen this vampire bat?
No, Swan Jim. Kolu no see. Kolu hear from native brothers.
Well, what language does it speak?
Speak like you, like me.
Well, the Reverend Chalmers may not be far from wrong after all. You know, he thinks it might be a white man who was starting this jungle magic up there, Colo.
Yes, it's Swan Jim.
And now you say this mysterious vampire bat speaks English. Of course, the vampire bat appearance is just a costume, a disguise. What does the human underneath it look like, Colo?
Nobody knows. Face always hidden by face of vampire bat. Only hands seen. Hands come out of wings. When make Mumbo Jumbo, hands hold 2 daggers.
Well, all I can say is I have to hand it to whoever's responsible for the whole business. They sure have imagination.
Yes, it's one, Jim.
You rascal, you don't know what I'm talking about. Come on, throw some water on that fire, Colo. Then we'll load the canoe. I'll start putting things in now.
Yes, it's one. Kolu put out fire.
Yeah, we don't want to burn up the jungle. It would be awful if it ever caught on fire. And bring those guns, too, Colo.
Yes, it's one. And here blankets and tin can food.
Oh, that's fine. Put them in the center of the canoe. That's it. Now we'll stow away the tent. Give me a hand, Colo.
Yes, it's one.
Okay, you take that in. Yeah. Fold it up once more. Now, that's it. Now it'll fit in better. Into the canoe with it. All right. Now, in you get, Colo. And off we go.
At that very moment, the Reverend Chalmers is talking to an old acquaintance up at Burrawani.
Mr. Tuan.
Loki. What do you want?
Tuan, Loki come to tell you he's glad you safe.
Yes, I hardly think I can thank you for that.
What Tuan mean?
I think you know what I mean, Loki.
Mission Tuan blame Loki for something?
I suppose you didn't lead me up country and desert me.
No, Tuan. Loki no leave you for he want to. Mission Tuan wrong to think so.
It was beautifully planned, Loki, and I must compliment you on its execution.
What Mission Tuan mean?
I mean your scheme to get me lost and desert me worked.
No, Tuan.
But for the fact that I could trace my way through the broken bush, I should never reach my boat again.
Tuan.
Oh, don't worry, Loki. I'm not going to do anything about it. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. It's not for me to punish you.
Loki sorry, Tuan. You no understand. Loki tell you go first so he can look for wildcat.
What?
Loki fall down over foot of tree. Everything all black like night. Plenty long time.
Well, of course, you couldn't answer me if you were unconscious. That's logical enough.
Bye-bye, Loki wake up. Call Mission Tuan. No hear answer. Come look see. Mission 2 on gone.
Well, I'm sorry, Loki. I seem to have been hasty in jumping to conclusions. But I surely thought you deserted me.
Loki sorry 2 on think so.
Let's forget the whole thing, shall we?
Yes, he 2 on. Loki forget.
Good.
Mission 2 on want to see Mumbo Jumbo some more?
Yes, I do. That's why I'm back at Burowani. I heard there was magic being made up there in the jungle last night. Is that true, Loki?
Yes, he 2 on. Last night, Mumbo Jumbo. Drums call my brothers.
Do you know exactly where the ceremony was held?
Yes, he 2 on. Loki no.
Will you take me there?
Mumbo Jumbo not for white 2 on's eyes. Loki tell true.
Loki, it's not for myself I'm going. It's for you and all your brothers. I want to save you from the bad magic up there. I want to show you God's magic, the only real magic. Will you not take me to the place where they're holding the ceremony to save your brothers?
Mission 2 on follow Loki where he tell?
Yes, yes.
Do like he tell?
Of course I will.
Then come with Loki.
Meanwhile, back at the plantation, the strange white woman is upset about something.
Labar! Labar, come here.
Hello, boss. What you want with Captain?
I got some news. I ought to flail the hide off you for this.
What? What the matter, boss? I don't do anything. I no leave plantation since we come back.
I know that, but an old folly of yours has come home to roost.
I don't know what you try for to say, boss.
What did I tell you the other day about your killing that kid?
Oh, that may we. You say I should have wait until Jungle Jim she left town.
Yes, I did say that. And what else?
You say we will have something to worry for if Jungle Jim gets on our trail.
Exactly. And now we're in for it.
Huh?
You can start worrying, Labar. I have. Jungle Jim has broken camp and is on his way up here.
By God, you no need for to worry, boss. Jacques de la Barre got something for to settle with that fella. And nobody can prove nothing this time. That Jungle Jim, she will be this side Burowani now.
All right. But see that you do your work better than you have in the past.
You leave everything to Jacques de la Barre.
Well, I won't leave everything to you. But I'll leave that snooping adventurer to your gentle charms.
Gentle? Jacques de la Barre, gentle. By God, that one good joke, boss.
Now I've got something else to think about.
We, boss?
The Reverend Manley Chalmers is down at Burowani. I've got to be sure Loki doesn't double-cross us. Where's Mamba?
In kitchen, I think, boss. I go see.
I'll fetch him. Stay here. Mamba! Mamba, you black rascal, come here.
Yes, Timothy. Mamba, come.
Labar,
We, boss.
fill up the gas tank in the plane.
All right, boss.
Now, Mamba, I'm going to fly you down to Burowani. On the way, I'll tell you what I want you to do.
Just about that time, Jungle Jim and Kolo are working their way through the crocodile-infested part of the Jungle River.
Watch yourself, Kolo. It'd be a nasty place to fall overboard.
Kolo, watch, Swan Jim.
It's the only part of the trip I don't like, Kolo. You never can tell when a perfectly innocent-looking log may turn out to be a crocodile or a hippopotamus having a quiet swim.
You're right, Swan. Better we paddle careful here.
Yeah. We're on the right trail, though. Remember back at Wongambok, they told us they saw the missionary go by in his motorboat?
Yes, it's Swan. And White Missy follow after.
Yeah. I don't wish them any bad luck, but I do wish something could delay them until we get up to them. I'm afraid they're heading right into danger.
Mission Swan and him daughter better safe if we there, Swan.
Yeah, you're right. Paddle harder, Kolo. There's another dead log ahead. I'll steer us around it.
Better Kolo push log away with paddle, Swan. Look, see. Kolo, push.
Kolo, look out! It's a crocodile!
Oh, Jim got paddle. Him fully Kolo.
Let go, Kolo! Let go of the paddle!
Jim got paddle, Swan Jim.
Let go of the paddle! We'll be tipped over. If he turns around, we'll be tipped over. Let go! Kolo! Kolo! Where are you? Kolo!
Go here. Come on, Jim.
Quick! Swim for the canoe! The crocodile has seen you. He's turning around. Swim, Kolo! Swim for the canoe!
Meanwhile, the Reverend Chalmers and Loki have set up camp on the bank of the northern Jungle River.
Is that meat cooked yet, Loki?
Meat most done, Tuan.
Well, how's our coffee coming along?
Coffee need more water. Loki said.
All right. I'll watch the meat while you're gone. Loki, I say, there's that plane again.
Yes, Tuan. Engine bird fly back now.
Yes, Loki. When we saw it before, it was flying down to Buruane. I wonder where it's from.
Loki fetch water, Tuan.
Very unusual a plane around here, Loki. We must look into that, too.
Tuan! Tuan!
Yes? What's wrong?
Canoe, come down, wide water.
What?
Loki see from Bend. Listen, Tuan, no got 5, 6. Better we hide.
No, Loki, I don't need a gun. The Lord is my sword and shield. I run and hide from no man.
Look, see. Canoe come near shore.
Yes, so it does. I wonder who it can be. Someone in a sun helmet with a native guide.
Sun helmet come off. White Missy, wave, Tuan.
Lynn, my daughter. Lynn! Lynn!
Hi, Dad. I see I'm just in time for dinner.
Yes, my dear, but how did you...
See, Dad, I heard you tell Uncle Jim that you were going without me. And then I was awakened by your engine as you left. I knew you were heading into danger, so I decided to come along. I picked up Mamba at Buruane, and here I am.
Yes, but my child, you don't realize what you're doing. You don't know the jungle as I do.
I'm willing to learn.
Yes, I'm sure you are. But I'm not willing to risk your life as well as mine. We may never get back to civilization.
Then the Chalmers will be lost together.
Well, here you are now, so I guess we'll have to make the best of it for the present. Come along, my dear.
Pull my canoe up on shore, Mamba.
Yes, sir, Missy.
Loki, help my daughter's guide.
Yes, Tuan. Why you here, Mamba?
Big fella vampire bat, bring me an engine bird. Mamba got message for you.
What message?
Big fella vampire bat pay much gold. Half for you, half for me.
Much gold? Why?
For mission Tuan and girl.
Loki do. Tonight, while mission Tuan and girl sleep, we take knife and creep in tent.
Well, it begins to look as if the mysterious white woman will make good her threat to destroy anyone who ventures north of Buruane. For how can the Reverend Chalmers and his daughter escape the cruel knives of the treacherous native guide? Don't miss the continuation of these thrilling adventures next week at the same time. The same adventures that appear in full-colored action pictures next Sunday in the Comic Weekly, distributed everywhere with your Hearst Sunday newspaper. And besides Jungle Jim, you will also find many other famous characters of humor and adventure. Don't forget our date next week at the same time for the continuation of the adventures of Jungle Jim.